Hello, 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 dear human family. How are we doing? Everything all right? Oops, I can hear my own voice. Okay, that's good. Right, a little bit of interference that shouldn't stop any of this. Okay, what a day it's been. Lots and lots to do. So just to get right started here, it's 9 o'clock now. As you may have heard, I have taken on the responsibility to write it was sort of an idea that emerged by Josh to do a command in a written document form, and it has now morphed more into a notice of liability again. So it's going to be operated from that perspective. And yeah, I started writing it today after gathering some ideas on how to approach this. So I've already sent 3 documents, 3 notices of liability, the third one actually being a notice of peace, because here in Austria, I realized that we're already in the peace phase, which can also again turn into a sort of confrontation phase. I don't know, it depends upon the politicians, okay, that are enacting these illegal and unlawful regulations. Since the world crisis officially started in 2020, so it's up to them, because to be quite honest, they just take a lot of time to get it in their nut, okay? They're just, it's a form of dementia. They think, oh yeah, I'm in my office. As I said last time, the Chancellor of Austria actually came out and said publicly that he's not responsible for anything that he does because he's been voted in by the public. You see, and this is exactly the sort of thought problem that they have. Okay, they live in an artificial bubble. They have nothing to do with the public. They only meet the criminals, okay, in their private life. They don't really have friends, okay, and we know this from Hollywood and also from the music industries, people that are in the entertainment industry, and politics is another form of entertainment when you look closer. They don't really have friends, and they are told with who to meet and who not to meet. So actually, they are the most controlled individuals on the planet themselves. Okay, they're enacting absolute criminal orders. Okay, and they have no freedom. Okay, whenever a camera's on them, they have to wear the muzzle. So that's all on them. And now it is in our responsibility, okay, to change the dynamics of this. What is emerging now, and this I can also see by not being censored on YouTube, as I'm obviously being monitored, which is good, okay? Keep listening in. You might learn more and more and more and more and more details to this huge topic that is responsibility, that is at the core of creation, okay? And it's a dynamics that I've come across, that the system is now changing according to the will of human beings like me and human beings like you listening, who are coming more and more into their power. This is one of the elements I have in this now nearly 3-page document that I've been writing today. Okay, I speak in the we form, or I say I see myself as a part of a growing number of individuals that are taking action, okay, and that are taking responsibility for this world crisis. So you in the political arena, like the chancellor that we have in this country, Mr. Herr Kurz, okay, you don't take any responsibility for the actions that you take. So therefore, we take over responsibility. Hey, that's great when you can realize that, okay? Oh, they're all not taking the responsibility for the actions that they take. So I make a command. I take full responsibility toward a peaceful resolution to this world crisis. We don't want any wars anymore. And we're the ones who make sure that we don't repeat history here, okay? We're resolving the energetic imbalances that have happened in the Second World War. That was due to the energetic imbalances of the First World War. We're dealing with those causal factors that led to those two wars, okay, that you financed, okay, we know who you are. And we're also going to resolve the thousands of years program of genociding the native people of this planet. How about that, huh? Do you like that? Okay? Get over it. We're back, okay? Call us Gnostics, call us Cathars, call us Tartarians, you Khazarians, huh? We're back, okay? It's those people you slaughtered throughout history, okay? The burning of the Library of Alexandria that we run, okay? I have a strong feeling I was a part of that, okay? Together with a lot of people listening here. How does that feel, huh? Can you tune into that? We were the keepers of the mysteries, okay? We ran mystery school tradition throughout the world. And we don't even know until what point, you see? Because of the very interesting information that we find out about Tartaria, okay? I have no time, unfortunately, to go deep into this subject, which I find absolutely fascinating, and I recommend everyone listening here to take a look at the BitChute channel of Max Egan, okay, the Crow House. He has some fantastic content, brilliant podcasts that he unfortunately doesn't do anymore, and he had some amazing podcasts on Tartaria, and it's very intriguing. Max has a beautiful skill of sort of igniting ideas in your mind. He talks about the mud flood, for example, and the sort of, what was it, sort of 18th, 19th century, where lots of children were shipped over to Europe, and this is also proven through statistical evidence, okay? And there was a repopulation of Europe, and there is also a CIA document, okay, that directly says that the ambassador of Tartaria was part of a conference in 1944 during the Second World War. Well, I didn't hear anything about the Tartarian Empire or Tartaria during my Second World War history classes, okay, and especially not at university, because I studied history at university, which is there to hide history, okay. Didn't hear that. And they said they needed to delete the history of Tartaria. This is a direct agenda, okay? What are they hiding? Very important to know one's history. Very important to find out about one's roots, okay? Because one of the most important quotes that I know is the quote from George Orwell. Those who control the past control the future, and those who control the present control the past. Your perception of your identity, okay, that should merge in this awakening process. Your identity should merge with your authenticity and become one, okay? We don't have to delete the ego for all fake spirituality movements, okay? The New Age deception. Oh, it's your ego. No, I'm making full use of my ego, okay? Thank you very much. I'll use my ego as a big power, as the interface with this reality, okay, in order to make change. I'll actually merge my soul with my ego. How about that? How about that balance, huh? That's true spirituality. So they hide history. They hide the roots of our civilization, for a specific reason, okay? because I strongly would suggest that this world was very different up until very recently, actually. You can go back 200 years maybe, even. We don't know. Unfortunately, I don't have the time to research it yet because I'm too involved in the mechanisms of the system, okay? Which is liability, which brings us back to our favorite subject right now, okay? And I want to start with the opening quote that I use for the document. Okay, so this is first insight of the document. It's not yet finished. I'm gonna finish it today, hopefully, and it's gonna be available as of Friday. So sign up to the event, and you'll get the document. Okay, for free, of course. You know, serving the human family that has no monetary value attached to it. Okay, because I'll be given by the source. Good. The opening quote of this document is by Ayn Rand, and I don't really know that individual. Okay, there's lots of opinions about her. I've not read a book by her, but I just love this quote. I got it from a presentation from David Icke. It's so the notice of liability. The quote is, "You can ignore reality, but you cannot ignore the consequences of ignoring reality." All these so-called powerful people in the background, okay, the hidden hand and this system servers, they live in an artificial bubble of their own perception, which has nothing to do with reality. Their whole trick that they play is that they want to collectivize us into their version of reality. This is where the aspect of Carlos Castaneda's books comes in, the topic of all topics. Okay, the topic of the archons, and the archons being a parasite of the mind, which we, as reborn Gnostics, telestai, okay? Telestai coming from the root word telos, which means aim, okay? Telestai are the real Gnostics. Telestai are those who are aimed, okay, individuals who have an aim. And they want to collectivize all of us in this parasitic mindset, in this criminal mindset, in an artificial reality where you can do whatever you want and there's no consequences to that. Like Aleister Crowley also said, you know, do what thy will, okay? And he was a major black magician of the 20th century. Getting off topic once again. I have to pull myself back sometimes. It's that us as Telestai, we have an aim, and Carlos Castaneda said that this archontic mind parasite, there are mind parasites, they insert thoughts in our mind that are not our thoughts, okay? I talked about this last time also as the mind of past experiences. And the eventual end result of this, if you want to know if you've been hacked, okay, we talk about the hacking of the mind. That's what they're experts in. You know it when you have thought loops going off where the end result of this is that you feel disempowered. Okay, that's when you know you've been archontically infiltrated in your thought processes. And Carlos Castaneda talks about the topic of all topics, and it's they gave us their mind, okay? And they gave it to us. This has to do in my research with the aspect of our brain, which is the reptilian brain, okay? The R complex, very important to look, okay? Just look it up, you know, the aspects of the reptilian brain and what it does, okay? For example, very important, it's reactive, okay, instead of responding, okay, the responsibility, the ability to respond. So that's a major aspect. And all we need to do, this is one part of this document, is to remove consent. Very, very powerful tool. Okay. This, by leaving this document, okay, and I'll get deep into it now, is that you remove your consent on all levels. This is part of it, and I have to write this down so I don't forget it. Okay. Remove consent on all levels. This is a very powerful thing, okay? Because there's multiple expressions of our being. Okay, reality is far more mysterious than we ever thought it is, okay? And we're only here to find out what it is. That's what a wonderful thing. And that's why I've been studying the nature of reality since 2012. It's really fascinating. And that's about, together with liability, that's about the single one topic that they don't want you to find out about. Okay, this is what they don't want you to know. And removing consent is powerful because they didn't really get your consent from the beginning. So they just believe, yeah, we show you this in the movies and we tell this in our autobiographies that we write, like, for example, by Rockefeller. We write all of this and then we just magically have your consent, or we have the consent of the entire population. Okay, another aspect of this demented mindset that these people are in. The ruling class, okay, the so-called ruling class on this planet are, in my research anyways, are psychopathic, which gives them, which is perfect fertile ground for the archons, the enemies of life, to work through them. And by removing your consent, you actually are sort of unplugging yourself from the artificial reality that they want to create. Okay? Very powerful. I do not consent with it on all levels, and this leads to reality. You see, as I'm doing this, I'm getting more specific with my document also. That's why I'm happy I don't have to have it gotten done today. So Josh is giving me a little bit more time, which is fantastic. He's a lovely man. What a guy, Josh. Big up to Josh Del Sol. What he's doing, making manifest, is just absolutely amazing. Working day in, day out. Okay, pure dedication. Fantastic. Good. So the removal of consent, that's very important. Why is that important? Okay, I'll tell you why. Because we're still being run by nation states, okay, which want to be, like, in the agenda, these nation states should be integrated into one unified system. Okay, also these nation states don't exist anymore, and no constitution and whatever, and there's just this world government, okay, being run by algorithms, by AI. This is what they actually want. Total control. That's what they are all about. It's they're control freaks, okay? But we still have a nation state, which is, as I said, the source is paradoxical. I make a lot of content and inform people about the nature of the state, okay? And I talk about that to believe in rulers outside of you, okay, is exactly the problem, because you're not acting independently. You're dependent on the actions that the politicians take. Like for me, for example, I do not, okay, for those listening, because I'm being monitored anyway, I don't care if you impose another lockdown now in this country, in Austria. They want to have another lockdown on the 29th of March. Okay. Little clowns. I don't care if you do any lockdown. I do whatever I want to do. Okay? Is that as clear as it gets? Because I decide my reality. Okay? I'm doing reality management. That's what I do. I lay the foundation of how I experience this reality. All right? Do you get it? Because I know that the cause of the problem that we're dealing with this crisis is that people have given their power to other forces, to the enemies of life. And I know you as the enemies of life. Okay, I'm talking directly to you, the archons, Satan. Should we talk with you directly? Okay, I have no problem with that. You can attack me all you want. It will just make me stronger, you see. According to the yin and the yang, in balance. Make me more powerful. I'll face you any day, any time of the day. No problem. Okay, I speak big words, but I stick to it. The aspect of consent, coming back again. Okay, sometimes I drift off and just see there's a little bit of entertainment. Like, I don't know, I learned a lot from Mark Passio, and you should watch Mark Passio's show, you know, when he goes mental and he just loses it. He loses himself for 30 minutes and I just laugh my head off. Because he gave me the kick up the arse that I needed to do what I'm doing now. Because it's good to be funny and have some fun, of course. You know, we're here to have joy in life. But there's also time to be absolutely serious, okay, and tell these people what is reality. What is it about consent? It links to legitimacy, okay? Have I got it? Yeah, I've got the law dictionary here. This is what I have. That's why I say the source is paradoxical, and the state and the how the state is actually, the nation state is actually run, is also paradoxical. Okay, I do not support nation states as of that they tell me what I should do. No, I don't believe in outside authority. I'm the authority in my life. Okay, I don't believe in that. But in order to checkmate these criminals, okay, that are working in the state and implementing this criminal agenda for the total enslavement of our human family and the destruction of our planet that is our home, you checkmate them by telling them the system of what it actually is, okay? Because they're bound by the system. These people working in government, they're bound to the system that they operate in. And in their dementia, they think they can operate under a criminal system now. But we tell them how the system actually really is. Okay, so you come from within the system to get out of the system. Okay, that's what I mean by that. And legitimacy is very important for nation states and for governments, okay, to have legitimacy. Let me see if I can find that legitimacy, and I have to translate it also into German. Legis, leg. You have the leg here, like legislation and legal, leg. Legitimacy, also always interesting. Okay, Legitimation. All right. So it says in German, Legitimation, Rechtfertigung, Nachweis. Okay, that means proof. You need to show proof, boys and girls. Prove me that your so scary CV actually exists in isolated form. You have to prove that. Okay, you in government, you have to prove that it even exists and causes disease. All right? Burden of proof is on you, not on me. No, they always want to invert everything, you see? Proof. And the proof that a behavior or a state is actually morally legitimate. That's legitimacy. And legitimacy, you see how they've framed it that they're legitimate because of what Edward Bernays called the engineering of consent. Okay, so what the government, the representative government, actually believes in, okay, is that we have legitimacy because we have the consent of all of the people in the country. That's why we have legitimacy. And when the pressure gets too much, okay, as you can see, when a government falls apart, is when that consent is no longer given by a certain amount of people that don't want this government anymore. No, what are you doing? We don't want this government. They go protest, and in some cases, the government falls, and then we start this whole new cycle of stupidity. Oh, so we got into this problem by voting for a government. Now we're going to solve this problem by voting for a government. Well, that's really intelligent, isn't it? Wow. You get an honor for that, Here's your award, okay? Knock yourself out with it. Best served for this planet. What stupidity. Okay, so they're legitimate because they believe they've got the consent of the public. Those things are interrelated. That's why Edward Bernays is so important. Propaganda, read the first page, and The Engineering of Consent is one of the books that he also wrote that most people do not mention. They engineer consent. What is consent? It has to do also with normal. What is considered to be normal? Okay? That's where we get the new normal. They ring a bell, huh? It's what I spent my time the last year crystallizing these core elements, okay, and looking deep into it, how they relate to each other, okay? Relationships between these notions and concepts and the implications of what that means. That's real mathematics in use, okay? It's not calculating things and let me do this and 0 plus 5 is 6. No, wrong. That's not the mathematics. It's defining and making correlations and finding out about relationships between different notions. And then you put the puzzle pieces together and then you see the picture and like, wow, that's how they're pulling off this scam. And now I can take them down. As I keep saying, important to re-emphasize for all you listening here in the mafia also. Oh, you want to lock us down? We take you down, give you the chop, okay, with the sword of truth. Have you ever watched King Arthur, huh? Yeah, we're back. We're all back. And we're activating the whole of humanity, huh? What are you going to do? What are you going to do about that, huh? Nothing. I thought so. Of course not, because you're a bluff. Good. So they want to create normals. They want to influence what is normal and what is not. Okay? Oh, that's not normal, writing a notice of liability. Normal is stay at home safe and watch TV. No, that's called being an idiot. But they're very adamant about this, okay? That's why we call it social engineering. Okay? Again, this goes back to Bernays. Social engineering is creating the normal by influencing the environment according to the parameters like you want them to be. That's where their prime weapon comes in that they use against us, okay? It's not some tank, it's not some directed energy weapon. Their biggest weapon is media, because it creates the normal, you see? That's not normal. That's conspiracy theory. Ooh, denier. You see? And that's influencing the normal via the media, via the school system, education system, universities. Yeah, we know you Jesuits took control over the universities, okay? And we're taking them back to have proper knowledge, okay, and proper education, proper universities, Gnostic universities. How about that? The Library of Alexandria, not only in Alexandria, but also throughout Europe. How about that? That's a future perspective that I like to have, huh? And social engineering is just another term for mind control, okay? And mind control is, if you really want to study and know what Satanism really is, okay, because most people have a Hollywoodized version of Satanism that has nothing to do with actual reality. Yes, it is a part of it, that which you can see as sort of worship to an entity called Satan. All right, they do that, supposedly. But it's much more to do with social engineering, mind control, and psychological warfare. That's Satanism in action, is psychological warfare. That's why this whole scam since last year is Satanism, psychological warfare. We know what you're doing. We know exactly what you're doing. Because we know exactly what you're doing, we know you as the enemies of life. And therefore, we can extrapolate the solution to ending you. And you can't do anything about it, can you? Huh? You see, it's so funny they can't even take me out. It's so hilarious. You see, that's the sort of level of power where I want to get people to. My human family, everyone deserves that, okay? You see, everything is reverse. You are absolutely not protected when you're sitting on the couch and watching the mainstream media or watching the alternative media and just informing and having an information overload and not knowing the whole picture anymore because you're so overloaded with information. You see, you're not protected. Real protection comes when you're in action, but not in full-blown action where you go crazy and burn out. No, it's a process, okay? And that's one of the main things I want to tell people here that want to embark on their journey of notice of liability. And it basically just has to do with sovereignty, okay? This is what all people should know about, okay? What is sovereignty, okay? How do I become a sovereign being? And through holding people in politics accountable, that's one way of really finding out about sovereignty, okay? That's the prime importance to find out about. And it's a process. So what I'm creating here is a template, okay? Something that I've written. I'm gonna do a real template next to that, okay? What I've written here for Josh Del Sol Summit is a notice of liability that people can use, and you can also make use of it and change it in whatever way you want. Oh, when you don't like the source, for example, okay, then say God if you like, okay? It's none of my business, okay? If you've got a connection with God, that's fine. You see, everyone chooses how they do their reality management, okay? Whatever helps you. If Jesus has really helped you in your life, well, then pull him in to that notice of liability. No problem. There might be some politicians that really resonate with that, okay? Whatever you want, Mr. Reagan, as they say in the Matrix. Whatever you want, Mr. Reagan. I just go by the source because I am absolutely only sure that that exists. That source of life exists, okay? That's what I do. And what you're kickstarting, okay, you're not going to send this notice of liability and then going to wait. Now I've done everything what I can, and after 14 days where they don't answer me, they're in tacit agreement according to international law that they're bounded by, and then I just wait and nothing happens, and oh, I tried. You see, I've got no power. It's not how it works, okay? So therefore I've got it in the document that it takes endurance and commitment to be free. Endurance and commitment. And this is so crucial that I say it again. What it takes is endurance and commitment to freedom. Okay? Put it all across your room or your house, paint it everywhere. Endurance and commitment, because I tell you, you'll get hacked all day long to not know this. Because it's endurance and commitment which generates momentum to take down psychopathic bitch boys who want to rule over your life. And sometimes it needs a little bit of a stronger tone because the ego does not like to hear this. Yes, the ego is important to use our power, but it really doesn't like to hear this. Okay? Because we've been made soft. We're softies. Okay? This jelly belly, jellyfish society. Okay? This jelly generation. Oh, don't harm me. Oh, you've triggered me. You've got a different opinion on climate change. Well, get as offended as you like, okay? I'll wait in the meantime and look at it for my entertainment. I don't get entertainment by the mainstream media. I get entertainment by looking at you suffering and being offended when I have a different opinion. Yeah. It's really important, okay? I just want to make this absolutely, because this is about the most important point I want to make here, okay? For everyone who's listening here, everyone who's going to listen after hearing the roundtable discussion and I did with Errol and with Lena Poo together with Josh Del Sol. What a great interviewer, and what an interview. I'm just really looking forward to it. And it's premiering tomorrow. So if you sign up on the summit, you get an email directed to your email account, okay, and you can access the talk from tomorrow. And that is about the most crucial. And I'll say it again, you have to endure them. They're a bluff, but they'll try all ways possible for you not to go the whole path, okay? And freedom really takes commitment. It's not easy, okay? And often I also fail, okay? Happens to me too. What do? I get up the next day and I do it better because I have a whole lifetime to get it right, okay? And I also celebrate. Absolutely. I have a lot of success, okay? Especially the last few months, been amazing. And then I celebrate, man. I love it. I love a cold beer and just chill out. Yes, that is also part of spirituality. I'm not just sitting like Buddha on the mountain range, and singing with the birds. You won't see that with me. I hope I'll do that in the future. Yeah. Who knows what's going to come in the future? It's going to be awesome. That I know. I'm hugely optimistic about this. That's why you're here on this channel, okay? That's why I'm doing what I'm doing, because if I were miserable and if I wouldn't see a way out, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do what I'm doing. But I look into humanity's eyes. I look into the eyes of the girls and boys that live in this world together with me, and I see it, that we have it. And that the biggest lie they've ever told us is that we can't do it. That we can't take them down. That we can't take our planet back. Yes, we can do. Yes, we can do, and I'll endure all of you psychopaths and attacks. I will endure all of you to prove you that freedom is a self-fulfilling prophecy, okay? I'll do it till the end, and that's the commitment it takes. Because this planet is so precious, okay? Now you got me emotional, of course. This planet is so precious, and we cannot let them have it. They have no right in any of this unless we give them the consent to do this. But this is not why we came here. That's where you know we're gonna make it. When you remember that you're a member of the human family, and when you remember that you didn't come here and you didn't sign up for this crap, for this nonsense, where there's no criminality in the world anymore, because it's all just about, where's your mother? Fuck off! You piece of trash! You're nothing! You're immoral! And you better get your vaccine and check out. Because this is paradise here. And paradise doesn't want you with your behavior and with your attitude. No one wants to hang out with you. So just check out. Okay. This is important that we do this. And also important that we are emotional. Okay. And I'm still learning to navigate my emotions and not get too excited. But sometimes, you know, when you're aware of certain types of information, like what they do with the old people, and what they do with children, what else are you supposed to be? What is a human being but emotional, huh? And how about showing that? How about showing that and not giving a damn what anyone thinks about you, even if you look like a clown? But that's healing right there, huh? Don't even have to make a video about emotional healing techniques and shadow integration work when you see it right in front of camera. Okay? Can't play this, okay? That's why I'm not an actor in this Truman Show. Okay. What we're implementing with the notice of liability is the foundation, okay? So there's lots of people engaged in what they do really well, which is building communities. Okay, that's where it's leading. Okay, I'm getting more and more insights into what the new world is going to look like as I move along my journey. And just the last 2 months, there's sort of like a tribe that's been coming together. Okay, big up to Yona here, to Chris, the wizard. You've seen him in some videos also. To Errol, the Rock. Okay, look at Errol. Do you really think they can take him out? You know what happened to Errol once? I told you a story last time about when they arrested me. Okay, and you know what Errol does? You know, that's the kind of guy that Errol is. He goes up to the police and asks, "What are you doing with them?" Okay, take me too. Okay, arrest me. And what does the policeman say? Stay away from me. Stay away from me. Yeah, because you have the Rock in front of you. Okay, that's power. That's real power, and you see it. I went through the experience. I told all of the policemen you're privately liable because none of this is law and you're only allowed to enact laws according to your own system. What you're enacting is regulation that is not insured and you're not insured and therefore you're privately liable. And then they come back to you and say, we just checked with the lawyer and It's all fine. Here is the exit. Yeah, that's the power of information. That's the power of liability. Okay, and holding them to account and knowing exactly what you're talking about. When you're in situations, then you can actually tell them and get out of situations without fuss. And you stood up for yourself, that power that gives you. That's why I love standing up to them. I love going in the train without a muzzle. I love going into the shops without a muzzle. I love it. I just wait for them because I know it's the enemies of life working through people. They have absolutely zero power, and I can checkmate them in 460 ways, okay? When they are only one-dimensional. Where's your muzzle? Yeah, not here, obviously, isn't it? So why are you wearing one, huh? Should we turn it round? All right, so we're going into tribalism. And a tribe has been forming here in our circle, and that's what it's going to be, okay? Decentralized. That's the real solution to the world problems, not Bitcoin, okay? Not cryptocurrencies. First, we have to sort the foundation out. And that's what a lot of people don't want to hear. They don't, they're also not actually aware of it. They're all about, yeah, let's just build communities and build that and do this and do that on a rotten fundament, on a rotten mildew, like really disgusting, filthy. You can smell it from 2 kilometers. Like, what's that smell? Yeah, and that's what I do. I go in there without a muzzle, but get the stink out and just remove that, the damage of the foundation. Okay, have the foundation clean, and then we can build proper communities. That is what responsibility and liability is all about. You clearing the foundation. You see, it's a self-regulating mechanism that you apply, and that's what a lot of people don't realize, is that when you create things, yeah, it's great you create and make your communities, but don't forget that there's responsibility to all creations. When you are a creator, you have to take responsibility for those creations. And that's what the new paradigm is going to look like. Small tribes coming together. And that's where you take responsibility, because when you fuck it up in a tribe and you've had too much to drink and you shout at someone because he looked too long at your girlfriend, okay, by the way, what is the matrix? It's your girlfriend. It's your boyfriend. Oh, people really don't want to hear that. And that ties into the whole aspect of dependency in relationships. Okay, can't get into it now, but in tribalism, coming back to the point, sorry I triggered the whole group here right now, including myself. Okay, that's why I don't have a girlfriend. Because I still have to up and up myself in responsibility. Okay, always be honest with yourself. Also, a core foundation of this notice of liability process that you immerse yourself in. You come out of the other side as a hero of this planet and a heroine. I don't like using that word, a heroine of this planet. Okay, you're saving the planet, actually, that which they always laugh at you. Yeah, you're saving the planet, and that's what it's about, taking responsibility. And that's the new paradigm of tribalism. Okay, you have to, when you're in a tribe, you can't just do whatever you want and have immoral behavior and think you get away with it. No, you won't. The next day you wake up, you'll have to face your tribe afterward and explain yourself. You see, that's where you see that tribalism and the old way, the ancient ways, had responsibility in their environment and the people they interacted with and who were part of the tribe. So what has happened with this system, the criminal system, the old paradigm, is they divided the tribes, okay, genocided the ancient people, make them forget about their past, okay, so they don't have roots, and a twisted identity, and they made them sign up for The Firm. Okay, watch the movie The Firm with Tom Cruise. That's what happened. So instead of being in your tribe and supporting each other, okay, having the full support, and not only you having to care for your child, but actually the tribe raises the child. That's another thing that's really important, which is going to come. What a relief for all the people with children, okay? When the tribe takes care of the children, then we'll have more children. Not the genocide that is happening once again here. Like the other day I saw in Italy, okay? They have only, what was it, 40,000 new babies a year, 40,000 new babies a year, and 80,000 people die a year. What? I mean, this is genocide, ladies and gentlemen. And that's Italy, who in the 70s had the highest birth rate in Europe. Bloody hell. And what the job they've done on us is just absolutely amazing when you see it in the long-term perspective. You see, that's what I focus on, to have the eagle's view, the overview. Oh, now that's what's going on. I can connect the dots. That's real Gnosticism, connecting the macrocosm to the microcosm and vice versa, letting the torus field flow through it. So coming back to the notice of liability approach, the old paradigm, okay, the new paradigm, tribalism. The old paradigm is a criminal system, okay? And you can take it back to the Second World War, as I said last time, with the implementation of the World Bank, IMF, and the United Nations, okay? And that is implementing a criminal international system, okay? And now they've moved to the next phase of implementing technocracy worldwide, okay, according to the model of China. That's why we had Wuhan, okay? So everyone organizes around China, and you don't hear anything about China because they've got it all in check, don't they? Yeah, because they stopped testing, huh? What a funny joke. Pandemic based on positive, I just won't even get into it, you know, how absolutely ridiculous. And this old paradigm coming back is based on a criminal system, and then move to the next phase, which was as of last year, where the crisis of 2020 started. Okay, we have like March 2020, a global coup d'etat happened of technocracy, and most people don't know about this aspect. Okay, what this means, and this has absolutely major implications. It's again something I really, really want to emphasize. Since March 2020, there's been already a so-called resetting of the whole dynamics of world politics. That was the start of a silent weapon, as a silent war with quiet weapons. There's a document I want to refer to also called Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars, March 2020. What happened is a global coup d'etat of technocracy. Check out the work of, and now I can't remember now, the book Technocracy. And I have to, Patrick Wood, thank you. Check out the work of Patrick Wood. Watch a presentation on YouTube. It's going to blow your mind. Okay. I agree with 90% what he says. It's absolutely mind-blowing. This is, you see, this is a specialist when it comes to the Trilateral Commission and international systems. He was the student of someone who talked about communism, Anthony C. Sutton, who wrote books about communism and Nazism. Also very important work when you go further back into history. Just check out Patrick Wood. Absolutely fantastic. And he says, and I absolutely agree, there was a global coup d'etat of technocracy, March 2020. And this has major implications, okay, when you study technocracy. And if you really want to get deep into it, I really recommend his book, Technocracy Rising. Big, 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 big. Learned a lot from that, understanding what's going on in the dynamics. And therefore, you have a situation where the nation state is not in place anymore, okay? And the rule of law of nation states is not in place. Therefore, they are breaking constitutions every single day, okay? And that's where you can checkmate them, because in governments, when you're working in governments and when you are a public servant, you have to, because you're bound by that system, okay, of the nation state, with its legitimacy, okay, with the rule of law and the constitution. If you believe in all of that, okay, when we've set that up for a reason, in order to protect the people of this country, okay, in this case Austria or wherever in America and Great Britain, we've set that up for a reason. And you, as public servants, being paid by tax money from us, you are bound to that system, to the constitution, okay, and all the principles that is based on. You are bound by it. And that's where we checkmate you, okay? Because not only are you going against the constitution, but you're enacting, and here we go, your paradigm, you're enacting criminal law. What is criminal law? And that I also have to take a note. What criminal law? Which goes into the notice of liability. Criminal law is when you have no accountability or liability for the regulation you put into place, because they're most certainly not laws. Watch the video I did 2 days ago where I explained this insurance aspect, okay? So they create a reality bubble around themselves that is a criminal system. That's the old paradigm, criminal system, okay? That's their own bubble of the enemies of life. But that criminal system is bond and tied to the system. And the system they're operating in is an insurance system. What do they always offer us, governments? That it's an insurance system. And okay, I can see that my internet is bad. All right. Could be that I'm under attack, whatever. And it's the lack of insurance for the regulation that they want to enact, which makes them privately liable. Every single one of the politicians. Well, that, I mean, if they attack me and censor me over my bad internet, you know, and doing around with my internet connection, you really know that I'm doing something right. Or I know I'm doing something right. So thank you very much for giving me the clarification that it's going in the right direction. Thank you very much. You always help me, you know, the enemies of life. It's so lovely of you, you see. You can't get in, you know. You have to check out from this planet, okay? And okay. And another point that I want to make from this document, okay, is that okay, this is part of the document. I'll read the first part also, okay? This is directly from the document, which I'm very sure I won't change, is the beginning of the notice of liability. The intention behind this notice of liability is based on care, respect, honor, reconciliation, and forgiveness towards all members of the human family, including you, meaning the politician you are serving. A peaceful resolution to the world crisis already exists and is an emerging reality. But before any reconciliation and forgiveness for a peaceful resolution can become a reality, the truth has to be spoken. When 2020 was the year of propaganda, I will make sure that the year 2021 becomes the year of truth and freedom. How do you like that? So that's the first peaks of this document that I'm writing, which I put all my heart and soul into it. And another part I want to share with you, and I'm going to wrap this up with that, okay, is the following. I, one human being with heart, mind, and soul, am the reason why the agenda for total control of humanity by the hidden hand is going to fail. There is going to come a time after Corona in the very near future, and this notice of liability gives you, as a human being, the chance to leave the ship of the hidden hand that is a sinking Titanic. You see? You checkmate them. This is actually a safety bridge for all public servants and politicians to switch over from a non-sustainable criminal system that is artificial and can be checkmated with what the system actually is. The real system is a copy of natural law, as I've explained often, and is contract-based, to the new system, the new paradigm, which is only going back to the ancient paradigm that is based on the natural order of things. Coming back to the natural order. That's all that's going to happen, okay? And the natural order of things says who takes responsibility is a responsible creator. Who takes responsibility is in charge. I, as the High Commander of the High Source, take full responsibility to resolve this world crisis in a peaceful manner. Because I take responsibility, I am the authority when it comes to resolving this world crisis. I see myself as a diplomat for the planet, empowering humanity with empowering information to also be diplomats for the planet. You'll know if you are, and I'm very happy when I have people join in together to resolve this, because we're going to do this all around the world. I'm doing it right now in Austria. I'm going to drop you after this notice of liability via the summit. I'm going to drop you a with this notice of liability that you're gonna have access to. I'm gonna drop also a template, okay, with other background information that you need to be aware of, like shadow integration work, okay, because the more you do your internal work, the less you can be attacked, and the less fear you have to have when you know that when you do your internal work, that will be reflected in the macrocosm. Okay, and you can't be touched, because no one is allowed to infringe upon your soul's journey. Very important. No one is allowed to do that unless you invite it in. Okay, and energy rituals are also very, very important, and a lot of fun. Let me tell you, energy rituals are really a lot of fun. So it's a whole new world that opens up, and it's all based on responsibility, because we are creative beings and we need to take responsibility for the creations that we create. Unfortunately, I didn't get to the comments here, but I thank everyone who's commenting. I always read them at the end. I love all of you who are part of this. It's good to have differences in opinion. I'm just here to share you my version of the truth. Doesn't mean it's the absolute truth, but you know, truth has a fragrance. It has a certain taste. You can feel it, not when you go to church or when you pay your taxes. You can feel it when you hear it. So in that sense, I wish you a wonderful evening. I'll continue working now and stay in a good vibration, okay? And when you feel disempowered, okay, go through it. You come outside the other end as an empowered individual, okay? We transcend this system through the system. You transcend into the light outside of the construct through the darkness by shining light onto the darkness, and then it has to perish. In that sense, we are sovereign, we are free. Much love to you.